And I am here with Frank, and if you're watching this on Frank's stream, then you already know him a little bit more than me. We both cast for the CSL and various other teams and other stuff like that. But this is Lazura Gaming on the top with Digester, Ted Stickles, Slush, Body Drop, and Talandra versus Team Diversion for the Go For LOL Cup 74, I think it is. Anyway, CV's going off, and as you pointed out, Frank, there are some weird summoners from Diversion. Double teleport with CV on their jungler. I have not seen that before, but either A, they got their summoners mixed up and forgot to change them, or B, they're going to use the increased mobility to go for some sick ganks. I've seen that most notably with Karthus to, bot lane, teleport to a ward in the bush and go for a gank. But right now, opening up, we see Diversion running into mid lane, and we'll see if Maokai's lagging a little bit behind. They're pinging for the invade. They go ahead and drop a ward there, so I guess that means they're going to cycle around up top and use that for positioning.
They could just be really, really concerned with Lazura's, basically how long Lazura's been together. They could have planned out these kind of invades very, very well, and they might be a little bit concerned about that. And that's actually what it looks like is the case here. As you've got wards on both sides of the river here, this is going to help them a little bit later on as well with the with just having control over the river. But I mean, placing down those wards so early is gonna lose you a lot of time on the wards for later on, when I think it's going to be a little bit more important. But it looks like they are just really, really passive right now.
Well, also, I think they were having a lot of technical difficulties. Yeah, it looks like Udyr was kind of DC'd there for a while, but he is back, and so they were going to think about remaking it, but it looks like everything's going well. So they're just guarding their junglers really carefully. Both players opting to start off with the Wolves. Udyr is such a fast jungler with Phoenix stance, and so it does look like he's going to be going Phoenix Udyr for a fast jungle rather than like Tiger stance, which is slower jungle but just does retarded amounts of damage. As we see both teams going back to their lanes, going to allow both junglers to start off with blue and see things shape up a little bit more normally.
Yeah, and actually one thing here to note is that Maokai actually didn't go for the Wraith, so he's really not taking full advantage of what he can be doing with Maokai here, and you can actually see he's going down really low on his HP there. He has started with Regrowth Pendant and 1 health potion, so he's just going to have the health regen off of that Regrowth Pendant to really keep him going in this jungle here. But that's one major advantage of Maokai, is you can take those Wraiths and still be okay to get blue, and it's just such a quicker jungle pattern, but not taking full advantage of that. And like you said, Phoenix Stance Udyr is just going to deal tons and tons of damage and just be able to take out these creeps so effectively and so quickly.
Alright, now I believe last games I cast, they did have a ringer for their jungler, but Ted Stickles is their normal jungler, so he is in the call with them, so they will have a lot more coordination than they have had in previous games. But yeah, this looked like mid lane is going to go a little bit more in favor of Gragas. He did start Doran's Ring, usually going to have some form of sustain, but he can just get as drunk as he wants, and that's going to keep him in lane. So he's going to be able to poke with some really effective barrels, and it already looks like he's been able to zone out Slush a little bit mid lane.
Yeah, and there is going to be a huge wave coming down here, as we do have 12 CS. Actually, Gragas doing not such a great job at CSing. He's up to 5 right now, and versus the 15 of Cassiopeia, so that's a little bit rough there. In my honest opinion, I think what they should have done on Team Diversion here, just taking a quick look around the map to see if there's any action. It seems pretty slow going right now, but I do think that one thing that Team Diversion could have done here is actually put Gragas top to throw those barrels at Nasus and really zone him out. I don't know how effective that would be. I honestly haven't seen that in a really long time, but having that double teleport, you can really take advantage of the lane switches and just keep Gragas on top of Nasus, which I think is a much, much better combination. You do run the risk of course, Aurelia being against a Cassiopeia, but I think she would do better against her than Nasus against Gragas.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. They could even switch it up and have some sort of AD top. I was thinking they might have been switching the lanes up a little bit more, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for anything non-standard. If we check farm, yeah, pretty much everyone from Lazura, even the support, beating them in last hits. But meanwhile, Ted Stickles finds Maokai in the jungle, tries to knock him back to escape, but he should have just kept running, although that Bear Stance would have kicked in eventually, and so Ted Stickles picking up first blood on the Maokai in the jungle, and top lane we see Nilo trying to go up against Talandra, but that Wither just makes things so one-sided for Nasus.
Yeah, and actually Nasus just a slight bit ahead on farm here, though there is a pretty massive wave pushing in for Aurelia to be able to pick that up relatively soon. But yeah, still doing pretty decent on his farm up at top lane with that Nasus, and that's one thing you definitely do not want is a farm Nasus. So we're going to see how he does up there, and I'm kind of hoping to see Aurelia try to turn this one around, hopefully after her first shot. But she does have Cloth Armor 5 health potions, and she could honestly be a little bit more aggressive with that, but it looks like with the same exact build on Nasus, it's going to be a little tough.
Yeah, Fly Showdown bot has been dropped really low at least twice, and now he's back low again, except this time he's Graves did go back to shop, and usually you want to put Sona, or take the support back with the AD carry instead of leaving her there, but right now she's just not doing a whole lot of anything. She probably should have just gone back and given up the turret, but this is a really fast turret from Digester. Usually you see teams leave the turret there so that they can farm more and that the turret can deny minions, but we just see Nozmerk coming here mid again on Maokai. Is he going to be able to get the gank off onto Slush? They are baiting with Ted Stickles in the wings. Is he going to go in? Here comes in the Maokai. And yeah, Slush is just going to run out. But is Udyr with the flash stun? The poison goes off onto Nozmerk, and Maokai going to go down. That was excellent bait by the Cassiopeia.
Wow, that was a huge play there. And actually, one thing, I honestly think Gragas had kind of the same idea. Down at bottom lane, actually, you've got Sivir picking up the Graves. Going in after this Sona here, not really being able to pick that one up as well, but still picking off the Graves. It's going to be a huge benefit for bottom lane as well. But yeah, I think Gragas had kind of the same concept in mind there with Maokai stepping in. But yeah, with the flash forward there, and no getaway, again, no freaking getaway from this Maokai really has led him to his doom, as I think early on...
Oh no, he canceled the teleport! He canceled it! He would have gotten out in time, but no! Oh my goodness, he got scared and walked back under turret.
Ouch. Yeah, there's some brutal stuff happening bottom lane, as that turret is going to go down before... right at the 7-minute mark, so that's going to be a huge benefit. And Maokai in the jungle here, up against a level 6 Udyr, double buff. This Maokai getting caught out yet again with no escape. He's definitely going to go down here.
Ouch, and yeah, the aggressive counter-jungling, Lazura choosing to, M5 it in the jungle, and it's getting it done so far. Udyr just such a strong, 1v1 jungler, so if he does encounter anybody in the jungle, well, we see how that's gone, and 0-3 Maokai kind of letting them down in the jungle. But top lane seems to be, I guess overall, one of the more even lanes. It is 40 to 47, so Aurelia with higher CS there and has been able to sustain herself top just using the Cloth Armor 5 health pots. Nasus does still have his health potions, so he's going to have more sustain, plus with the percentage lifesteal up to 17%, he's going to be able to stick up there for pretty much as long as he wants.
Yeah, and actually, if we can actually see Nasus's Q has been farmed to 21 extra damage. Now it's at 24, which is actually shockingly low, in my opinion, for how much CS he has right now. But, I mean, still, he's going to be farming that up pretty decently. One thing to note as well is bottom lane for purple team here. You've got Fly Show and Luck Flows, too. They're both level 4 versus the level 6s of Sivir and Soraka here. So they're going to have a really hard time, just as far as leveling goes, let alone the 2 kills, 53 CS versus 0 kills and 34 CS on Graves.
Yeah, one of the things that makes a little bit more sense about the Nasus Q is that Aurelia has burned through all of her pots, so probably using that to go ahead and harass Aurelia. And with the harass, that does explain the lower creep score as well. Although it is evened up to about 1 difference right now. And they are going for the first dragon. There is no ward here from diversions, so Ted Stickles just getting healed up by the Soraka. Sorry, I just derped right there, but this is going to be the first dragon here for Lazura right around the 9-minute mark, so really fast dragon.
Yeah, and I think one thing that definitely played into that was the fact that Sona used her ward so quickly, but a little bit of action going down here, as I think Graves is definitely going to get picked off here. Udyr's going to try to catch up there, and the kill is going to go to Digester. Little tongue twister there, and just really powering through this lane. 66 to 34 CS, now 3 kills. That is going to be one hell of a Sivir to try to deal with later on.
Yeah, and the 50 move speed from the chasing passive of Sivir plus already had 2 speeds, whereas Graves only had 1 speed, just meant that he was not getting out of there, and a Slush already pushing King Droid back to his turret even as Gragas, so usually you see Gragas push a whole lot with his barrels, but it does not look like he's been able to do that so far. Irelia finally gets to go back, picks up a Philo Stone, some Boots Wards, and Nasus going to go back for the first time, and we're going to see him probably, yeah, there goes the Glacial Shroud and Ninja Tabi, so he's looking to take absolutely no damage top lane, and that's really going to set him for a dominant farming position up there.
Yeah, and one thing to note here as well is there's only those 2 health potions on Irelia. I honestly think against all that armor she's going to need a lot more than that, because Nasus is going to want to do a ton of damage. Again, I absolutely love watching bottom lane. It's one of my favorite lanes to watch, and just it's absolutely silly how far in these guys are pushed, and Maokai really not able to make a difference. He's trying to go top lane for a gank here. Udyr, though, is right behind him, just trailing him out, and this is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Maokai stepping in here, but Udyr going to come around the backside here. Maokai throws up his ultimate, trying to reduce the damage that's going to go out here, but Nasus, with that ultimate and all that armor, not going to take any damage whatsoever. Q is going off all over the place. Udyr's going to pick up that kill. Now Cassiopeia with their ultimate going to come in here, pick up the Irelia, and this is looking like a complete bowl over as neither of these champions went down even below half health. Other than that last turret shot there on the Udyr, and bottom lane actually pushing in even farther here, so this is looking like a massive, massive pushing game.
Yeah, I was really impressed to see how ineffective that Maokai ult was. I saw it go off, and as well as, 2 full health champions from Diversion, and I definitely thought they were going to have that, but props to Slush from noticing the gank top and moving all the way up there. They do go ahead and take the top turret as well, so 2 turrets to 0, about to be 3 if Luckflow gets exhausted, gets hit by the boomerang, the ult goes off from the Jester, he's going to go way underneath it, and Bananas pick up the kill on Graves one more time.
Wow, that was a little bit crazy. Yeah, I was kind of wondering whether or not Graves was going to go down there, but a really nice combination there, putting out exactly enough damage that needed to be done there. Unfortunately, the Bananas didn't travel faster than the blades from Sivir on this one, so that really slow Banana ends up picking up the last hit there onto the Graves. But, a fed Soraka is never a bad thing either, and it looks like she's actually, even at this point in the game, with just the Philostone level 1 boots, might be even more powerful than the Graves at this point, so looking a little bit silly right now.
Yeah, we see Nilo coming down mid looking for a gank, but there's a ward over there by Red Buff, and that is going to signal Cassiopeia to be a little bit more wary. Slush is really low and has only gone back, I think, once this game, so he has been farming up a storm, and it looks like, yeah, Gragas being pushed way behind his turret has not been drinking regularly, as that is what keeps him sustained. But Ted Sickles finds him in the jungle, pops the Phoenix stance, the W goes off, but here comes No Smirk, no, not again! Runs into the entire team in the jungle and may not have been looking where he was going, but yeah, that map awareness. So now they're gonna, no oracles actually yet, but they're gonna take the blue, give that off to Cassiopeia, probably. And yeah, there it goes. So Slush pretty much with infinite mana, and that's really going to negate the sustain of Gragas in lane. And his last turret is looking to be in a little bit of danger.
Yeah, and actually, there was a point there. The reason Slush got so low was Gragas actually went for a kill on him, ultimated cast behind the turret, and he was able to just literally walk away from that one. Still did a little bit of damage to Gragas on the way out as well. So, but now going back and shopping here, so you've got Cassiopeia now with a Will of the Ancients, 2 Doran's Blades, so a little bit of tankiness and a lot of damage and a lot of sustain there, so she's not going anywhere. And this Gragas here with no Will of the Ancients, no level 2 boots, and still those 2 Doran's Blades. Down at bottom lane, you've got that lane pushing as well, and such a frustrating lane for Irelia. She can't actually do anything to this Nasus. Nasus can land 1 Q on a creep and heal up any damage that's been done to him, which is looking pretty nil based on all that armor.
Yeah, it looks like Nasus is just, running that solid, I can sustain in lane longer than you can, and for an Irelia, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, just getting that Q farm up, we do see that the Q is at plus 114 physical damage, so combined with the 110 and the passive 110, that's looking to be about 334 on his Qs. He is right now. He did not opt to pick up a Philo Stone, which would allow him to Q basically infinitely. But that does signal that he is going to be probably going back here pretty soon. And yeah, there he goes ahead and B's. Meanwhile, mid lane, we do see a Slush dropped low once again. NoSmirk able to hold that lane while Gragas does go ahead and back, and we just see Gragas, what is he going to buy? Yeah, he picks up a Kage, so he's recognizing he does need a little bit of extra gold, but I'm not sure if that is going to be the most effective laning against somebody with so much sustain like Cassiopeia.
Yeah, and this is actually looking really brutal. We were talking, or Rapid, you were mentioning just a second ago that Slush was a little bit low, but not so much anymore with that Will of the Ancients just going right back up there. And actually, we did see a major... Whoa, Baron...
what? Wow.
As soon as it spawns, Baron's going to go down here, so this is looking like major map control, and I don't think Diversion has... Well, they don't have any wards, but I don't think they could even imagine that that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and at 15 minutes, Baron only has about 10,000 health, and that does go down, so 15-minute and 25-second Baron for Lazura, and they are... Ouch, that's going to hurt. They're going to pop out of this jungle, and, yeah, Diversion's not going to see it coming.
Yeah, actually, there is a ward in the bushes there that is going to spot them, so I think that Diversion does know that Baron has been taken, but this game is looking extremely one-sided, and we can really see the difference here in what it means to be a really well-played-out team and well-practiced team. You do have Digester there going for red buff, but flash forward here by the Udyr trying to pick up this Aurelia, and is Aurelia going to go down here to the Sivir? It looks like a couple more auto attacks, one more auto attack, boom, there it goes.
Wow. They do not afraid of anything, going hard in the paint, as it were, of top lane, and wow, yeah, Digester just says, I want this guy, and picks it up, and they just see Digester over the wall, going to zone him out with some barrels from Gragas, runs right through that ward, but there's not a whole lot Diversion can do right now.
Yeah, and you can see that Udyr is trying to hold this red buff for Digester here, but Digester a little bit off to the side, trying to pick up those wraiths, does get that red buff eventually. Now it's a Baron and red buffed Sivir here, which is going to be a lot of pain to deal with, as this push is going to come down mid lane here. Nasus at top is going to wreck that tower once he gets on top of it. Aurelia is going to go there to defend, but this 4v4 in mid lane here is going to go completely one-sided, I have to assume.
Yeah, the Maokai goes off, so they are going to have a lot of... benefit from staying at that turret, and yeah, Lazura does not want to initiate 4v5, but Nasus, yeah, just going to AFK push top, and Anil is going to try to do something, but with all of that lifesteal and a Q that kills turrets in about 5 hits, that's going to go down. He was just going to stick up onto it until Anilo decided to kill off some of the creeps, so mid-turret is going to go down. Gragas lands a barrel, but that's not really going to be that effective against someone with a Will of the Ancients able to sustain so much longer in lane.
Yeah, and actually, Gragas did use his ultimate there, but we can see exactly how much damage that did. It hit Cassiopeia and Soraka, which typically would be okay, but in this position here, it seems like it's not doing so much damage for this big guy. But going to continue this push. I honestly don't think Lazura has anything else they want to be doing right now. They might very well take out the inhibitor and then go down to Dragon, but by that time the enemy team may very well have surrendered, and it looks like actually the ultimate coming up from Sona hitting the Udyr on the tower, but he's literally just going to stay there pounding away on this one, and now finally they might be backed up here, but the ultimate coming in from Cassiopeia, Gragas might get away here, poison ticking away, and it looks like Graves is going to go down after the Gragas, and wow, Aurelia is going to get smoked off, and with this ghosting Nasus, something you never want to have. Okay, that was a huge Q coming up from Nasus.
That was a little
and this
dirty.
game is looking pretty well over before the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, contrary to popular opinion, the NoSmirk, usually the one being caught out, was the only one from Diversion to escape that nasty initiate under turret. Yeah, they just got a little bit too defensive and didn't know what they were supposed to do, so they went ahead and initiated a really bad engagement. And yeah, 1835 is, you know, they did a 15-minute Baron. They're going to have a below 20-minute surrender, so apparently this is how you play the game.
And you know what? I absolutely love seeing games like this, and this is the major difference between seeing a high ELO ranked game and a really well-coordinated just team that's well-practiced together. They know exactly what they're doing. They've been talking with each other throughout the game, and, you know, quite a huge, crushing victory from Lazura Gaming.
Yeah, it was really impressive to see all of that teamwork, and especially the difference in junglers start to pay off there and just slide them on to the victory. So thanks for watching, guys. I guess if you see this on YouTube, then you can like and subscribe it, or follow Frank on his channel. Whatever you guys want to do, I appreciate Frank co-casting with me, and if you want to see more of our stuff, I'm sure I'll have links to that at some point down there. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Frank, guys, signing out with Rapid Casting.